Yes, and it's quite frustrating for a lot of cancer patients because you have spent so much money.
And you're starting to celebrate already. You are getting encouraged.
Yes, and then this happens to you. Sometimes you get smacked by you get smacked by life. Why did this happen? Everything I did was my uncle told me everything I followed to the letter.
And it seemed to be working.
Yes. There's a solution to that. We'll go into that later.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Simply Healed. And Doc Johnson, welcome again.
Hello Shan, hello everyone. Glad to be here again.
Yeah, today we have a new venue for today's health talk. Upgrades in preparation for 2023. Doc, today's topic is really interesting, and I think all our audience today will be so glad that they didn't miss today's episode, because today's episode is about why your breast cancer treatment might not be working. You know, Doc, thank you for all your past health talks where you really taught all our viewers, especially our regular viewers, about the different aspects of cancer. But today we're going to handle a very specific one, and this might be something that is so important to a particular listener if it applies to you. Doc, sometimes proven protocols mysteriously doesn't work for some patients.
Yes.
And it's very frustrating as a patient because, for example, you have breast cancer, your uncle tells you success rate is 60, 70, 80%. This is a proven therapy, it works for so many people. But when you use it, it doesn't seem to work. And it's like a mystery. Well, tonight, we're going to take a look at what that answer might be, and it might apply to your case. And if that is the key thing, then tonight is your miracle, right? You found a way to make that protocol that's supposed to work really work for you. So Doc, tell us this very exciting angle, this potentially life-changing revelation.
Yes, you're right. Sometimes there are a lot of reasons why the conventional treatments that we undergo, even natural treatments, sometimes they don't work.
Yeah, but it worked like for other people at the clinic, right?
Why didn't it work for me? I mean, we're practically the same, right? The profiles are the same. So there are a lot of reasons behind that. So immune system evasion, gene mutations. But there's one specific pathway that once it mutates, then it's really very difficult to treat.
Okay.
So this pathway is the JAK-STAT pathway. Okay?
Is this something relatively new?
Actually, it's not.
This discovery,
it's not.
Okay.
But the drugs that have been developed to target this specific pathway are new.
Oh.
Quite new.
Okay.
Yes. So later we're going to tell you which drugs are there.
That's exciting.
Okay. Some of them might be familiar, some might not be. Okay. So later we're going to that.
So Doc, it's even possible that some uncles in Philippines or wherever our viewers are may not know of these new drugs. Is it possible?
It's possible, but they should know this.
Okay, they should.
They should know this, yes.
So let's explore.
Okay? So, remember what I just mentioned, the JAK-STAT pathway. So that is JAK/STAT. So what is this? So cells have a way to communicate.
All right.
They talk to one another.
Okay.
Now, when we communicate, right? I am talking, you are listening.
Yeah.
So how do you listen? You have your ears to listen. Okay? So this JAK-STAT pathway are your ears. This is the ears of the cells.
Okay.
Okay?
That's interesting.
So if one cell is trying to communicate with another, it communicates via this specific pathway. Okay? So JAK means Janus kinase.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Janus kinase is just the name of the scientist who discovered this.
Okay.
So that's why it's Janus. Okay, so it's Dr. Janus. Okay, and the other one is STAT. So STAT means signal transducer and activator of transcription. So this is specific big words. Okay.
Yeah.
Main function of this that you have to know is that it stimulates gene activation. Okay, it activates the genes to manufacture proteins. Okay, so imagine this, no? Imagine this to be like a restaurant, okay, inside the cell.
Okay.
So take a look at this image. Okay, so take a look at the JAK Okay, imagine this, Jack, to be counters, no? Counters in the restaurants where
Or like
you
the cashier,
go,
where the
the
where you
cashier.
order.
Yes, it's like where when you go to Jollibee, when you go to McDonald's, it's the lady in front of you where you order.
Alright.
Okay, and the Ligan, okay, is you. You are the Ligan. You are the customer.
Okay.
Okay, of course, if you order
Yeah.
from the cashier,
They will produce
the food for you.
Behind.
Okay.
Yes.
So how does this work? Okay, so in a typical restaurant, when you order, the cashier receives your order, and then the cashier passes it onto the kitchen.
Yes.
So that the kitchen will make your order, will make your food to give it to you.
Yes.
Okay. So all right. So imagine this restaurant to be inside the sales. Okay. So you as the customer, as the Ligan, when that interacts with the Jack receptor or the cashier, okay, the cashier will pass your order to the kitchen. Okay, so it's Jack telling the DNA, telling the genes,
telling the kitchen what to produce.
what to produce. Yes. So what are the food that gets produced when this gets activated? When the Jack stat pathway
What's
gets
on the
activated?
menu? What is
Yes.
available?
Okay, so these are the things that's on the menu. Quite a lot of things. Cellular proliferation, meaning cells divide.
Okay.
They multiply. So 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8. Okay? Cellular differentiation or maturation. Okay? So imagine your young red blood cells being babies inside the bone marrow. Then they
become
mature.
adults.
They become adults so that they can carry oxygen and function properly for you. Okay? So that's another one. Another one is cellular migration or movement. Cells migrate, especially during baby when you're an embryo. Okay, so you're this small small embryo, right? Of course, how do you become a full fetus?
Yes.
Okay, cells migrate,
They
cells
move around.
mature, they move around.
Does this have an impact on cancer spreading?
Yes, especially metastasis and tumor invasion.
Okay.
Okay, cellular death is also known as apoptosis or programmed cell death. This is how, you know, when cells get old, or this is how they die. Okay.
So this naturally, and the
Yes.
issue about cancer cells is that cancer cells often don't die.
They don't
And then
die.
the healthy cells die, the
Yes.
cancer cells don't die.
So they just multiply and multiply and multiply. So when JAK-STAT pathway gets activated, cellular death gets reduced. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So next is cell survival. Cell survival is longer with this. So it is like cancer becomes stronger.
all right.
Okay?
Wow.
So next is the creation of blood cells. So you know this already. Immune cell development, stem cell maintenance. Okay, so human growth and development, as just what I have mentioned a while ago, and breast gland development. So these are the things that gets activated, that gets turned on when JAK-STAT is activated, or when you order in that counter.
But what happens in your illustration to a cancer patient? What happens when their JAK-STAT is overactive, when it
Yes.
produces too much?
This is what happens. So remember what I have mentioned a while ago? So the function of the JAK-STAT, you just enhance that. Okay, so increased cell proliferation. So your cells are multiplying excessively. Okay, so instead of 1 becoming 2, 1 becomes 4.
That makes the cancer cell grow faster.
Yes, that's why we develop tumors. Okay?
Wow.
Next is decreased cell death. Cells just live longer.
That is good for the good cells, but that's bad news for
cancer
the
cells. Okay, so decreased immune function.
We don't want that.
We don't want that. It's
Yeah.
because why do we have decreased immune function? It's because the white blood cells are not matured properly. They don't mature properly. So if they don't mature properly, they don't function properly. So next is immune system evasion. It dodges the immune system. It evades detection by the immune system.
Wow, those
There's
are
also
very
one
serious
Okay.
impacts on cancer.
Yes. So next is tumor recurrence. That's why some of you who have undergone immune chemotherapy, radiation therapy, hormone therapy, surgery, one way or another, somewhere down the line, you develop recurrence. So these are one of the reasons. Okay? Tumor invasion, all of you already know this. Increased tumor blood supply formation.
Oh, that's bad. Because if you increase the tumor blood supply formation, the tumor grows
faster because they have their own supply of nutrients already.
Wow.
And the tumor deprives you of nutrients that the healthy cells
They
in your body
steal
should
from
have been.
the healthy cells.
Yes, it's like parasite. It's like a parasite.
And I see the next one is cell migration, and that's the most scary thing in cancer. Metastasis. You know, for our audience, it's important to take note that if your cancer does not spread, in many cases, you can live a very, very long time with the cancer in your body.
Yes.
In fact, most of the cancer deaths are a result of cancer spreading. If you could isolate your cancer, if it just only stays at one point, you can basically live with it, which is why prostate cancer in the early stages, doctors just sit back and
observe
because it's not moving anywhere. It's just one location. So stopping your cancer from spreading makes cancer less lethal. And that's something that you should aim to do if you're a cancer patient. So this is very important that we stop this.
Yes, correct. And one of the bad things as well is that the tumor itself can develop drug resistance. This is something that Dr. Jimmy has been saying again and again.
Okay.
Some tumors develop resistance to chemotherapy.
Yes.
This is one of the reasons.
Oh, because of the JAK-STAT.
Because of the JAK-STAT. But for this, for the JAK-STAT, there are quite a lot, so we don't have time to enumerate all. I just give you one very common example that a lot of breast cancer patients are very familiar with. Aromatase inhibitors, or letrozole, also known as anastrozole, and exemestane. Okay, for our breast cancer patients who are hormone receptor positive, this is one of the mainstay treatments that you will be undergoing. If JAK-STAT is overactivated, you develop resistance to these drugs.
That's not good.
That's not good. Okay, sometimes aromatase inhibitors are given for 5 years.
Okay.
Sometimes because of the sheer duration of the drug, the sheer duration of the number of days of the drug that's been given.
You give the chance
for the drug
to mutate and develop a defense against it.
And sometimes, at the back of your mind, hey, it's being given for 5 years. So, at the back of your mind, probably I have to be on it for a significant period of time for it to work. But sometimes along the way, we don't know that it's not working anymore
because the cancer has already mutated.
Yes, because of this JAK-STAT pathway.
This thing about cancer mutating is something very important for persons undergoing drug therapy, because drugs do not mutate with the cancer.
Yes.
So the moment the cancer mutates and changes, that very, very effective drug that was working so well, shrank your tumor 75% of the size, suddenly doesn't work anymore. And then that tumor starts growing rapidly because it's a stronger version of that original cancer. So for many cancer patients, I think this is one of the most traumatic experience and very confusing, because the drug was working. My tumor was the size of like this. Now it's only so small. How come now it's growing big again? What happened?
Yes, and it's quite frustrating for a lot of cancer patients, because you have spent so much money.
And you're starting to celebrate already. You are getting encouraged.
Yes, and then this happens to you. Sometimes you get smacked by life. Why did this happen? Everything I did was my onco told me everything I followed to the letter.
And it seemed to be working.
Yes. There's a solution to that. We'll go into that later.
And at this point, I just want to also update anybody that just joined us. Right. So this is really good news because the frustration of a therapy that was working that suddenly stopped working, or that's working for other people but not for you. What we are discussing tonight might be one of the reasons. And if it is, then tonight you have found a solution, and those therapies will begin to work for you again. And that's good news, because those are proven protocols that are effective for breast cancer. So Doc, please continue. Let us know how.
So now, what are the reasons why the JAK-STAT gets overactivated? Number one reason, inflammation. So I have shown you these two types of molecules, IL-6 and IL-22. So what are they?
This?
Okay, what is this? Remember COVID? Okay, remember the drug Remdesivir.
Yeah, I was about to say
Okay.
that.
Remdesivir is an IL-6 inhibitor.
Okay.
Okay? In COVID, IL-6 is one of the inflammatory factors that can that can kill a person. Okay? And this is exactly one of the reasons why JAK-STAT gets overactivated.
Because of the
presence of IL-6, because of inflammatory factors. Now, IL-6 and IL-22 are both pro-inflammatory, and these can get elevated for
many reasons.
For many reasons. And number one is lifestyle, the food that you eat. I've been reiterating this again and again and again. So please watch those videos. Okay.
Okay.
Now, next is inhibition of negative regulators. So what does this mean?
Okay.
So for every restaurant, you have your security guard.
Okay, that's easy to understand.
Easy to understand. What does the security guard do?
Chase away the wrong people.
Chase away the wrong people. Also, they filter who comes in the establishment.
Yeah.
Okay?
So they don't let gangsters come into the restaurant.
So this one, inhibition of negative regulators means that your security guard got sick and went for a sick leave. Okay? So if you don't have a security guard in your establishment, all people will come into your establishment.
Doc,
okay?
How does this happen to a person? Why would our security guards take leave?
Again, for a number of reasons. Usually, it's because of mutations.
But mutations are part of life.
Yes. However, in cells, mutations can correct themselves.
Wow.
However, there is also a mutation of a mutation, so that the corrector or the
person that is supposed to come and wake the guard up,
wake the guard up, or
actually doesn't do his job.
Doesn't do his job, or the auditor doesn't do his or her job, okay, or does erroneous corrections, okay. So that is what happens.
So Doc, when you talk about this, and now we sorry Doc to just sidetrack a little bit, because since we are talking about cancer, I think it's really important for everyone to take note that it's not just about hitting the cancer tumor. It's about keeping your immune system. It's not just that simple term, strengthen immune system. The immune system is not just one thing, it's many, many things. So that's why if many cancer patients just rely on drugs alone or protocols, but make no change to their lifestyle, you're only handling one aspect of maybe 50, 60, 100 different angles, right? You're only concentrating on one angle, the drug, and you're missing out on everything else. So take a look at our other videos where Dr. Johnson talks about getting sunlight, walking, you don't have to do vigorous exercise, walking, dietary awareness, knowing what to eat and what not to eat. All these will cover the hundreds of other angles that are part of your immune system. So look, as we go into the science, deep into the science, just one factor, IL-6, can create that problem that stops your effective drug from working in curing you of your cancer. So attacking cancer and fighting cancer is a integrative, and you have to integrate many angles.
Yes.
And very comprehensive, holistic approach.
The approach should be holistic.
Yes.
Yes. So you should not be focusing on just one treatment alone. You should consider all the other treatments. Actually, as much as possible, combine them. Okay?
And sometimes it gets a little complicated, especially if people want to sell you stuff. So that's why we do a health talk like this, where you can ask questions so that you can develop a deeper understanding, so that you can choose better. So don't forget, in a few minutes time when we wrap up over here, there'll be an AMA, Ask Me Anything segment, where you can ask any questions to Doc Johnson and myself. So Doc, yes, what are the solutions to this problem?
Okay, now let's go to the solutions. Okay, so we have a lot of JAK inhibitors already, drugs, that inhibits this interaction between the cashier and the customer. Cashier and customer. Okay, so examples would be ruxolitinib, tofacitinib, fedratinib, peficitinib. Okay, so these drugs, I only chose one. Okay, the more common one here in the Philippines is ruxolitinib. And the problem with JAK inhibitors is that it's not readily available in the market, and it's quite expensive.
Okay.
This is the price, I got this from the DOH website.
Okay.
This is the price when this drug, the price of this drug in 2020.
Okay.
So take a look at the prices. It's crazy expensive. One day, the lowest dose, one day you'll spend 4,000 pesos already.
Every day 4,000.
Yes. Yeah, and you know, for breast cancer, to use this drug, you need 25 milligrams.
Okay.
So that would be at least 10,000 pesos per day.
Wow. No wonder maybe this is the reason why it doesn't occur to
Yes.
the oncos, because
It's really
it's a tool that they seldom use, because it's a tool that is not in the reach of many
yes,
people.
and it's quite expensive. And you know how long you should be on this? You should be on this until we see clinically significant improvement or your platelet count decreases. Then we adjust the dose.
Okay.
That is the time. But as long as it is working, you should be on this.
Is
Even-
there another solution than this?
Yes,
than this?
there is a
Oh.
cheaper one.
Okay.
So we have PPAR gamma agonists. PPAR gamma agonists are inhibitors of JAK.
Okay.
Okay, and
And?
they will be way cheaper. One example would be Simply Nature PPAR liquid.
And this is where my expertise comes in, because I'm familiar with PPA Gamma, and Simply Nature extracts and even our tablets are rich in PPA Gamma agonists. So yes, and I saw Doc, that you said in the previous slide that I can see, the audience may not be able to see, that these drugs work well with chemotherapy. For example, cisplatin. And I was thinking to myself, our Simply Nature liquid extracts actually remove or manage like a majority, maybe 60 to 80% of the side effects of chemotherapy drugs like cisplatin. So if you are a chemo patient, you should be already taking our product. Now the product also inhibits JAK-STAT.
Yes.
So that means that you kill two birds with one stone. So those of you who are already on Simply Nature PPA protocol, look forward to your breast cancer treatment by your onco to be even more effective, or at least you can rest assured this problem of the JAK-STAT would unlikely happen to you, because you're already taking something that modulates your JAK-STAT hyperactivity.
Yes. Actually, this is also one of the proofs that Simply Nature PPAR liquid really works in synergy with a lot of the conventional drug protocols used for cancer. Okay, so yes, if you are a cancer patient, you should really consider using Simply Nature PPAR agonist together with your chemotherapy, together with your hormone therapy, together with your immunotherapy or targeted therapy. Okay?
And with that, we hope we've achieved today give you a potential solution if you are one of those patients who can't understand why your therapy is not working for you, or the results have decreased. So this JAK-STAT might be that key to your issue. And once again, from Simply Nature aspect, we always want to make sure that our audience, our patients, understand why and how the product is working for them. And over the last 2 years, we've always been adding to this body of knowledge so that you can feel confident that you are receiving treatment that makes sense, that is well researched, that is understood, both by your attending physicians like Dr. Johnson, from the support of chemo and cancer treatment, to your oncologist, because all these research is readily available. And if you want us to speak to your onco so that they can understand what you're going through with Dr. Johnson, just let Dr. Johnson know during the consult. All right. So without further ado, Doc, can we go? I can see many questions coming out. So let's go.
Yes, let's go to the Ask Me Anything portion already. So yeah, I can see a lot of questions already coming up.